Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Um, so this video is basically a follow-up video to the Paystack and JavaScript videos I did 2 years ago. I've had a couple of feedbacks in this video regarding questions on how to verify transactions, automating flows for transaction verification. Like the question came from Aliyah Robinson, if there's a way to set up a callback URL route on the API. So when Paystack calls each time a successful payment is made. So yeah, I responded 1 year ago, but then it's still imperative I get to do this video to show you steps by step on how to get this webbook set up. And also again, I'll say a big shout out to J Charles on Twitter because he just contacted me on to ask a question, sharing a screenshot of this conversation with Ilya Robinson regarding Paystack callback URL and webhooks. So I'm doing this video as a follow-up, right? So, and the funny thing happened this morning. I woke up to record the video. I recorded the video step by step from beginning to end, only to forget to do a mic check, and the video was babash. But anyways, I've written the code already, so there's no point going all over it afresh. Um, so this video will basically just be a run through what why use webhooks in your application, and also we'll be testing out the endpoints I've already built out, and also deploying the application to render so we can really test the webhook implementation. Um, without further ado, let's jump into the Paystack documentations on webhooks. And there's in a nutshell, webhooks allow you to set up a notification system that can be used to receive updates on certain requests made to the Paystack API. So the functionality or usefulness of webhooks are for situations where a network issue might have prevented the application from redirecting back to your callback URL, which you've already set up your verify endpoints. So, which affects the flow for your customers or for your users. So you might want to be able to give value for that transaction. And another use case would be for applications where you are unable to redirect back to the user, probably mobile applications and the rest of them. You can be unable to call to the, get hit the callback URL. So all these are situations where you need the webhook. Then another situation would be when transactions are queued. Transactions might have been queued for processing by Paystack, and they will be probably settled in a later time. So webhooks, this is where webhook comes in. Webhook sends the events back to you, so you know that yeah, transaction has been verified and give value to the customer. So Paystack have I will share this URL of the documentation, so you could just go through it. There are some helpful tips, and there's a polling versus webhooks, which you are calling the end. Polling will be you calling the endpoint regularly to see if that's verified. But webhooks, you just have to chill, sip some juice, and automate the flow without stress. So, yeah. So I'll be joining down to some important notes, like okay, where Paystack notified you that you avoid long running tasks. So it is important that you return a response okay immediately you receive a webhook, so that way Paystack doesn't have to resend the webhook over and over again. As you can see in the live environment, they send the webhook every 3 minutes for the first four retries, then switch to hourly for the next 72 hours. While in test mode, they send the webhooks hourly for the next 72 hours. So it's okay. It's good to return a 200 OK response, so they don't have to keep on sending webhooks to you. Then it's also important to verify that the webhook is coming from Paystack. Yeah, so Paystack provides um, a HMAC SHA-512 encrypted key in your Paystack signature header in the response in the request coming in from Paystack to your webhook URL. So it's perfect. It's important that you verify that the hash matches your secret key, right? So that is also needed. Then another thing I think I might have missed was to explain how webhooks work. So what webhooks do is, what Paystack does is you provide the webhook URL to them, right? And they would respond to you. They would send events to that webhook URL. They will send a post request to that webhook URL, and you can take it up from there. Those um, post requests contains events like various types of events, right? Invoice created, yada 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 yada. Um, for this video, we'll be using the transaction successful events. There's a transfer successful, transfer failed, transfer reversed, and cards, different transactions that are the different events that are being sent to the webhook, which would aid in your software development or in your application development. Okay, that's for an overview, right? Let's jump right into the code overview at this point in time. So earlier I have an SJS application here running. So basically, in my constructor, I have a config service um, injected HTTP service and also data source for storing data to the database. Then also I also use the config service to get the Paystack secret key from the environment variable. And the first method that I have here is the init payments. So that's to initialize the payment on Paystack. If you haven't if you don't know how Paystack initialization works and the payment flow, I will put a link to the previous video, which I'm making reference to in this project, in this video. So we initialize the payments to send to Paystack to initialize payments. Paystack returns back with a authorization URL. Yeah. For the initializing of payment endpoints, we are using the DTO, payment init DTO, which takes in amount and email. And when we receive the amount and email from the DTO, we send that amount and email and also a callback URL Paystacks. We added this callback URL because we want to be able to get the reference from Paystack so we can, test the endpoint. That's why we added callback URL. But you might need to, or you might not want to, depending on your system design. Then we also have a um, verify payments methods, where once payment has been made and we hit the verify payment method, the payment is we first of all check if there's an existing payment with that same reference. If there is no existing payment, we proceed. If there is, we return that payment already verified. Then okay, I will call Paystack to verify our payment once more again to confirm that payment was successful. And next, if it's not successful, we throw an exception. Then we save the payment to the database. So that's the simple flow. Then that's it for the verify payments. Then moving on to the verify webhook. Yeah. So initially, what we said that made mention that you need to verify that the signature that is coming in from Paystack is actually valid and it matches your secret key, right? So what you need to do is basically you need to hash your own secret key using the same algorithm, the SHA-512. Yeah. Then you compare the hash with what's coming from the headers of Paystack. That's the Paystack signature. If they match, right, then you know that okay, yeah, it's a valid event that's coming from Paystack, so you can go ahead and proceed. So what we do here is basically confirm that we call the verify signature endpoint, verify method rather, to validate the request coming in from Paystack, and if it's not valid, we throw. Yeah, then I think we shouldn't throw instead. We should rather just return. Should rather just return instead. Because so that way we can get a 200 OK sent back to Paystack. Because of course, if at all, so whoever is sending the request. But then so if charge is success from the event, because now from the response coming back from Paystack, from the event coming from Paystack, we have charge the success as the event. If you go back to the documentation, Yep, we have charged as event. So if it's charged as success, then we'll give value, proceed, which we did here, which we proceed to call the verify payments, um, verify payment method. And the verify payment method basically does the save into database and gives us a response of payment verified successfully. So I think we could surely take off this point because um, uh, yep, this would do this would give the response to return rather. Okay, yeah, it's return and then yeah, that this is still valid. Okay, so that's basically it. The other methods like get payments to verify payments that were saved, so we don't have to. We're using SQLite, so we don't have to bother ourselves about verifying things are working fine. Then this Paystack API Exeos client is basically a helper method for calling Paystack's endpoints, which you can view the code on the repo that will be shared eventually under this video. Okay, so moving on to testing the endpoints. Yeah, if we save this, okay, yeah, let's move on to our controller. So our controller, we have the init payments controller, which calls the init payment on the services. Then the verify payments takes in reference to verify the payments, payment history to get all payments, and also the webhook URL. So in order to test our endpoints, basically we'll be able to test just this the first three, right? Because we can't, Paystack doesn't send webhook URLs events to localhost. It will send event to localhost because it's coming from the servers. So or like the callback URL. So let's test our various endpoints we have. Yeah. So I created them, what they call them, postman requests, which are basically to initialize payments to localhost for 3000, which the app is running on. Initialize payments and noteworthy that this is a 5,000 naira transaction. Paystack receives amount in the unit value, that's in Kobo. So whatever the amount is, multiplied by 100 and gets you the amount you send to Paystack. Then when Paystack responds back to you, you can now divide it by 100. Um, except you also are keeping your values in cents, right? So, like I said, design choice, and passing in the email, which is my email address. Then we have the next payment endpoint, which is the verified payment endpoint, which will pass in the reference coming from Paystack. Then we have an endpoint to get our payment history, which I've done several before. So let's hit the initialize payments and let's do another for 7,000. They return with their URL to authorize the transaction. Not this, don't save. Copy this. No, what am I doing? Okay, let's copy this. And we'll go to the browser and let's make payments. Paystack pulls up their payment modal, which we use for the payment success. And when we pay, it redirects us down to our callback URL, and we can now have access to the reference. So we'll go back to Postman to verify such payments, pass it to the URL, and when we send, payment verified successfully. And if we get payments, we should have an extra payment here, which is making it 7,000 naira. Remember Paystack. So that's it basically for that. So next we'll be pushing this code to GitHub and also setting up Render. Um, let's take this as an opportunity. If you haven't, if you're now aware, you could have your will I say your side projects deployed to live environments using Render for free, using their free instance, and yeah, which is a good thing for developers, I guess. So let's just get this pushed to GitHub. So get the server and we add git commit paystack webhook tests. Okay, let's push git push and Yep, with that code pushed, we move over to render. I have a render account where I just signed up for. So render offers you database as a service. Also, you can host your static sites and also your web services, background workers, cron jobs, private services, up to you. So I'll start a new project. A new project, so let's call it webhook tests. Okay, environment name, don't really mind. So let's create project. And oh, I guess okay, the process changed, but let's create a new service. Let's create a new service. It's gonna be a web service for APIs. Okay, from GitHub, I've already authorized Red down my GitHub, so it will be given access to my repositories. This is a long process. Okay, but then let's validate and okay, yeah, we only have one repo, so we'll connect to that repo. Um, so connect to the repo, create the various needed, which to my end is good as it is. Node is going to be from the main branch. The location is going to be using US West, and root directory is source by default, and it's also optional. And everything works fine. Select the options. Now we're supposed to add the our environment variables for this project, right? So remember we have the Paystack. Let me get that from the code. Get that from the code in our environment sample. So for your own case, you need to will I say okay, we're just only using only this secret key. You need to um, create an environment variable, right, and use your valid Paystack secret key. Yeah. So let's just quickly pause this video so I can paste my secret keys on the environment variable and resume immediately after. Okay, so with my variable added and everything seems to be in order, let's go ahead and deploy the service. It is very simple web service, so it shouldn't take long to deploy. All right, so it's building. Okay. So I'll pause this video so we don't have to waste time in the deployment process, so we can keep this video as short as possible. All right, so our application is done building and it's currently uploading. Yep, build successful. Okay, with our project properly deployed and it's currently live, and yep, it's live right now. So let's create our what they call it, our endpoints, which okay, yeah, you're okay. Yeah, this is it. Gonna be http dot webhook keyboard clipboard, and let's go over to Paystack and update our test URL, and if we will save changes. Okay, so basically our events will be going straight to our newly deployed application on render. Okay, let's now test our live application on render. We'll change the URL here. Okay, and if we send this, yep, data, so we deployed our SQLite database the way it is. We have data there. And if we initialize payments, change the URL here too, and we send, we get URL, copy, take to Paystack, and we hate it. Okay, success, 7K success. It comes back to us. Copy the reference and payment verify. Okay, we'll paste this, and I think I lost this on my clipboard. Okay, and send to verify payments. Payment verified successfully. And now this is going to be a test now for the webhook right now. Is we're going to initiate the payments. When it's confirmed, we chill, we don't do anything, and see what happens if we get an event from Paystack or not. Okay, moment of truth. If we get payment now, again, we should have 3 payments, 5,000, 7,000, and 7,000. So I'm going to be initializing a 8,000 so we know the difference. And send. Copy this, go to Paystack, maybe. Oopsie. Okay, I think we didn't do the right thing. We just sent it to render, should be slash webhook. I think that's our URL for webhook. Yeah. So that we save changes now. And we proceed with our payments. Proceed with our payments, and we do nothing. Go back to Paystack to Postman. So hopefully our webhook must have hit, and we send. Okay, no event yet. Something is up. Okay. I guess there was a fresh deployment on render. Right, see the events. Yep, there was a fresh deployment on render. That's why we didn't get that. So let's do that again. That's why our number of transactions have reduced. So let's initiate the payment again. 8,000, send. Copy this, go to Paystack. Pay, and we don't verify transaction. So hopefully this time around, our webhook must have been triggered. Send, nothing yet. Okay, give it some time. But in order to ensure that we know what's going on, let's just quickly debug while waiting. So let's see, verify a webhook. So we'll put some logs here. So let's log signature is valid. That's there. Then also let's log CLG. It's gonna call events. Okay. So let's do a log here for charge success, just to be sure. So before we go back to push the new changes. Let's send C. Okay, so we didn't get any. Send again, no changes. So let's push these changes now. Push what we have. And let's commit -m debugging and git push. So we'll expect an event on render to be triggered. Yep, it's currently deploying. This shouldn't take as much time as prior. Loading build. So once this is successful, we'll move on to the logs to see the events logs, the logs that we placed in the code base. While that is deploying, let us test the webhook endpoints. It is the root/webhook. Let's see if we can okay, duplicate you, and it's gonna be okay, yeah. Okay, let's use the localhost first. /webhook webhook, and let's add an header for X Paystack signature. Right. I'll do some yeah. Okay, if we send an endpoints, okay, code isn't up and running. Let's do some start there while checking on our deployment. Okay, so send this and we cannot get /webhook because it's a post request. Send internal server error. Okay. All right, currently project of X Paystack signature. Okay. So X Paystack signature. Let's get down to it. Verify webhook. X Paystack signature. Let's see. Let's log see what our request is holding. Input.headers. If we hit it again, let's see what our headers contains. It's undefined. Okay, if you're undefined, then who is request coming from? Request is coming from Express. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Oh. So let's CLG impute first place. Send that and let's look what impute is empty. Okay, that explains a lot. Request is empty, so let's go back to who we're expecting to the controller. Aha, this is it. So it's not supposed to be body, it's supposed to be at request. Yep. So let's rename it to request. of type request. I think this solves our problem. Go back to this, and yeah, signature is not valid, so we basically were doing the wrong thing. Okay, all right, so yeah, this is the header. Okay, so um basically it's, so I think we could just leave the logs the way they are and do a fresh deployment. Commit possibly fixed. Push that. And let's have your new render instance up and going. Hope that'll be all the issues that we'll be facing. Okay, so yeah, I think should be careful with your middleways at this point in time. Let's go back to our events, and a fresh deployment should be coming up. Yeah, okay. I think we should have checked the Paystack log, the deployment logs. Would have seen the challenge we're facing. Can process undefined. So yeah, what we just pushed is gonna save that. It's gonna give us the fix for that, and at least we can confirm that Paystack is making a request to that endpoint. They are making a request to the endpoint. That's why we're getting this error. Aha, this is it. Okay, so um, we'll wait for this to complete. So post the video. All right, so we got our application live now, and without further much ado, remember that Paystack will be trying to hit our endpoints every 1 hour. Well, we can't wait for the 1 hour time to reach. So let's create a new transaction. We need payments, and this time let's take the stakes higher. 9K, 90K, and 9K Jeff. Copy URL, and we hit the URL. Success. Pay 9,000. And we do nothing and wait for Paystack to do their thing while we check the events. So yeah, you see our logs are coming in. Charge success, amount is 9,000 we just did. So yeah, and if we hit the get payments now, send that, we should see our 9,000 naira transaction. Note we didn't verify this payment. So yeah, basically this is how simple it is to integrate a webhook. So just a reminder, this is not a production worthy code. Remember to always do your valid checks, double check and recheck because you're dealing with money. And also it's important to note that in the verify payments endpoint, I did a check for the existing reference so it doesn't duplicate. All right. Yeah, so that's it, guys. So what I'll be doing is taking off the logs, the console.logs that we have on the code, redeploying and we're pushing and sending back um, to GitHub, so that way you can have access to the example codes and you can integrate it in your projects. So any questions, reach out to me on X, formerly Twitter, this iceboss3d. The URLs will be in the description below. All right, thanks guys. Nice having you on this video, and go build something interesting and please notify me of what you build. I think that's it for this video. All right, so if you found this interesting, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, guys. Bye.